Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I know that right now all of you are looking for something in the jungle of AB02, and who comes to our rescue if not one of the best players in the world, Enrico Maria Rustico.
Hi guys.
Enrico, tell us a bit about what you brought and why, which tournament you participated in obviously, and which deck you faced.
Yes. So I just played the Chinois Win a Case tournament. Is one of the biggest streamers we do at the moment. The tournament was on the simulator, so yeah, I also have the deck in real because I'm about to play this next regional. I was quite vocal about it, so I think people knows by now. I went in second place. I lost in finals against Green Purple Luffy. I was quite unlucky, actually. I lost to Electrical Luna Trigger. So
really bad.
I was quite unlucky. Yes. But the round was pretty nice. I did 5-1 in Swiss. I played round 1 Lim. Then I played RP Luffy, Green Purple Luffy, Teach, another RP Luffy, and another Green Purple Luffy. So it was a lot of Luffys. I only lost one game to last round, Green Purple Luffy. I lost the die roll and it was like my hand was terrible. Then Top Cut was top 8. I played Green Purple Luffy again, of course. I won 2-0. Then I played Lucci. I won 2-0 again. And then in the finals, I lost 2-1.
Oh, Lucci. Lucci was good or not?
Yes. Actually, a lot of people, they think it's a bad matchup. But to be honest, I don't feel like it's that bad. At least in this meta, because Lucci has to play a lot of cards that don't do anything against us and is quite slower than before. And yeah, the way that I built the deck makes it a lot easier than used to be in the past. So I don't know. Usually in testing, I never lose, and even today I won 2-0. It was very fast game. So
I'm really curious because obviously Belo Betty is not one of the most spammed deck, no, like Green Purple. And I want to know why you are playing Belo Betty, why you choose for this tournament. Give us your reason, I don't know, your argument.
So the first reason why I wanted to play this deck is because I know that in OP11 is quite good. It was pretty good in Asia as well because of the new blue-purple Luffy. So I dig deeper and I checked if there were any new cards that made this deck broken. But actually, I noticed that every Asian player was playing just the cards that we already have available. So I was like, why is nobody playing this? It's probably decent against Green Purple. Against the rest, it's quite nice. Like, it's good against Shanks. It's good against a lot of like tier 2 decks. So I just wanted to test it out. And in the end, by playing it, I also recognized that it's not that difficult against Green Purple Luffy. I think you're kind of favor like 65-ish%. Is like between 60 and 70. Also, if you look at the sim stats. So it's not that bad. So I was like, okay, I don't want to play Green Purple Luffy because I don't like the deck so much. And I already know that I'm not going to play it next meta. Since we only have one tournament with this meta, I was like, okay, I will prepare for the next one with the deck that I like. So yeah, that's why I started playing Belo Betty, and then I recognized that it's actually a pretty good deck and quite misunderstood as well, because a lot of people think this is like very unskilled deck, but actually it's not.
Yeah, in fact, I saw a lot of people get really in trouble when faced you, obviously, in this tournament, because you know how to play against Green Purple, against Lucci, against the meta decks, but these people don't know how to play against your deck. And I think in a tournament this is a really important point for bring a deck like I don't know, Vegapunk for example. You bring it in Barcelona and a lot of people was scared because you played the version with all the 5 cost, not the big body. And obviously it's difficult to play against a deck in a best of 1 where you are not prepared, no? What do you think about that? For you, this will be a key for a run in a big tournament, or is not really impactful?
I mean, that's for sure like some of the factors when I decide to bring something that is not like an obvious tier 1. And that was the case with Vegapunk, now is the case with Belo Betty. I think Vegapunk at the time was quite a bit more like rogue deck compared to this. I think this is very close to be tier 1, at least in this meta. Next meta, I think it's tier 1 for sure. In this one, it's quite close, but also the surprise effect, I think it's important, because a lot of times, even today, a lot of people, they were like, I don't even know what your cards do. I don't know if I had to attack you, if I don't have to. And to be honest, a lot of these questions, I don't even know the answer, because I'm playing the deck, but actually from the other side, I don't really know what's correct and what is not. So I developed myself a plan for both situations. And yeah, that's that. I think surprise effect is indeed something huge, because if your opponent doesn't know what to play around with this deck, if they don't know if they have to attack or not, they don't know the triggers, they don't know what you can play for 4 downs, 5 downs, 6 downs, it's much easier to win with this deck. And it's very punishing, because the deck is very fast, so you don't really have time to understand what the deck does. Yeah. And by the time you know which cards I play, you're dead, basically. So
no, perfect. So what we search in a deck, no?
Yes, indeed. I like to bring these crazy decks, but I always try to think out of the box.
You're not scared about the new starter, because we had the new spoiler from Blackbeard and the purple black Luffy, and the other starter deck spoiler will come, I think, in these days. Do you think we'll change the meta? Because you said you are playing Belo Betty because you want to play it in OP11, because you think it's a good meta contender and beat the tier 0 probably Snakeman. But with the starter, everything will change, no?
Yeah, indeed, the starters will be a big change in the meta. So it will be a bit different from Asia. I still think that the power level of those decks is quite high, because with both Snakeman and the green purple Luffy, those decks are crazy. I think they really need to print something crazy to match them, and then even in that case, we will have a shift in the meta that doesn't mean that this deck won't do well, because of course, if those decks will be still in the top tier, then this is a perfect counter for those. So in general, like the purple Luffy's, green purple, red purple, blue purple, any Luffy, they just lose to Belo Betty. So
Luffy
I think if those remain on top, this deck will do well for sure. And even if the starters will increase the power of certain decks, it depends if those will match those decks, and also if they will match Belo Betty.
Okay,
just as an example, Teach is already a tough matchup. If it gets stronger, it's still a tough matchup, so it's not going to change that much. But it depends if Teach is going to hold those decks, because at the moment it doesn't win against those. So it depends if it's enough, because you get 4-5 new cards. I don't even know how many. But it depends. Maybe tomorrow they will spoil a buggy crazy deck and they just kill it. So you never know.
Yeah, Shanks too something can come out. So everything will change. We will see in these days.
Yeah, indeed, it's a big question mark. So leader, of course, everybody knows this leader. I think at this point, everybody hates this leader. That's different. So that's also a reason to play it. The effect I don't think I need to explain. For the deck list, I have, of course, the 4 searchers. Quite stable in the deck. They just search for everything basically except itself. It's the best start for this deck. You don't really play a lot of 1-drops. You only play this one and the stage. And you usually want to go second with this deck, so it really doesn't matter. You run this one and 2 other 2-drops, but this is usually the best start. It's not really mandatory to see a 1-drop in this deck, so this is pretty good in your starting hand, but not you don't mulligan for this. It's just a pretty good card to have as a start.
Okay.
Since I consider Belo Betty to be a combo deck, so this of course increases consistency, and that is why the biggest reason why you play this. Then we got 2 Kumas. It's just a toolbox card. I don't think we need to play more than this. It's pretty good against Lucci, against the Nico Robin blocker. There are a lot of small blockers in the meta, so I think it's quite handy, because during the game you can just search it and played at the right moment. And also sometimes it establishes like good board presence in the early game because you can just remove some small guys. And then, for example, if you develop a bunch of 2Ks, you use leader effect, you swing with all of them, and then your opponent will be forced to swing at those because, of course, every turn they are like 5K. So they are also kind of blockers. Then we got this card is the latest addition to the deck. I only pay 3. This Belo Betty. When you play it, it draws 1 if you have 2 or less life. So Belo Betty is quite, let's say, chirurgic deck in the sense that you need to play every card. Like every card you play, you need to really think about it since your leader does -1. And I came into this conclusion because of what Teach does. Basically, it's pretty much the same. Like you always do a -1 each turn. So cards that can cycle themselves are pretty good. And you can play this with the 6-cost Koala when you're at 3 lives. It happens a lot of times. You can just play Koala, play this. You draw twice, basically, because you draw 1 for Koala, 1 with this, and 1 life. So you draw 3 cards in total. So it's pretty good to get back your hand, especially when they starve you. It's really important to have some draw engine.
Yeah, usually a lot of decks starve you.
Yes, that is also the reason why I started to play this. They were not in my initial list. I was playing something else, and then I was like, okay, let's try it out. And then after I tried it, I was like, okay, this card is just insane. So yeah, I decided to play it. Also, it gives consistency to your odd curve because of course you never you don't always win die rolls, but it's good to have a 3-drop when you have 3 dons. In Azumas, okay, this is just a 7k rush for 3. Yeah, it's insane. Just in this deck, it's insane, and a lot of times you can just drop it for free and then use leader effects. It combos a lot. It's really good against black decks because it's a rush. This is the only rush I play, and it can steal you a lot of games. A lot of times they will just counter with what you have on board, and then you drop like 2 of these guys. Leader effect, you have 2 7Ks swings. Maybe you have a Karazu on board, so they're like 4K leader. So this card is just insane.
Yeah, the deck is really scary because, like we said before, you don't know what you can expect. I don't know. Everything can kill you.
No, indeed. But there are actually a lot of flex spots in the deck. So this is the list that I play, but also, okay, I think you have a lot of cards that you can play that I don't. But the spots in the deck are quite limited. So, but you have a lot of cards that you can play. So it really depends on what you expect. Then we have Karazu is one of the latest cards that came out in the game. It's just a blocker, trigger, it enters on the field. This steals a lot of games. Like sometimes they try to go for leader, you trigger this, you have a blocker, you just win. It's insane. Also, one of the problems of the deck was that it was really easy to kill. And now that you have this supporting blocker, I think it's a good addition to the deck together with the 6-cost Koala. Then we got one of the oldest cards of the deck is the 2K Koala. It's just an Otama, basically. It's a better Otama. You can search it. It's 3K, so you don't mind dropping it because you also have leader effect. You can go to 6K, and it's -3. It's really good to trade with Lindbergh, and in general, rested pieces. It's just a really good 2K. Then we have the Kumas Vanilla, basically. It's a 2K, but this enters on the field with the trigger if our total lights are 5. So it's you are quite limited actually with 2Ks in this deck. You have only these 3 guys. It's these 2 and the Sabo. So actually, you don't have a lot of choice. It's if you want to play only Revolutionary Army, you only can play this. So.
In the funnel, you never trick the...
No triggers in the funnel. I was quite unlucky. But during the tournament, I did some triggers, like very few, but actually they were not that game-changing, to be honest.
Okay.
Then we have the Sabo. It's the only EB02 new card. Really doesn't do much, but sometimes it happened to me to drop this for free. It happens a lot to drop it for free with the Ivankov. And then the turn that you go for leader, you can just drop it for free with the Ivankov effect, and then you can just give +2 to one of the guys, so you actually play with 12 downs on that turn. I think I used it a couple of times. I think twice in the tournament in this way, and yeah, most of the times is a 2K. So yeah, it's enough. I think.
You need it just because it's 2K. But
yeah, I play 10
sometimes it's
2Ks,
okay.
very standard. Sometimes you don't really need 10, but it's always I built the list to be with less bricks than usual. A lot of people, they play more bricks. I want to play like full counter, basically. I just play very, very few cards without counter. Then we have Karasu. Nice alt art. Yeah, it's just this card is insane. I don't think I need to explain. It's just
Karasu,
one of the reasons why you aggro so much. I actually use it a lot against green purple to also trade because you have a crazy combo with Ivankov. If you start second, you go Ivankov, play Lindbergh with the effect, and then on 6 turns you can do Koala, drop the Karasu, -1 to the Sanjin Pudding, and then with the leader effect you pump again the Ivankov, you drop the Koala, you go -3, and then Lindbergh is gonna go 8 and destroy the Sanjin Pudding. So I did it, I think, 3 or 4 times during the tournament.
Crazy.
It's one of the best combos in the deck. And it's if you do it against green purple, you win all the time, because then you're gonna have 5 guys on board. They go to 2 lives always, or 1 in the best case scenarios, and you have a Karasu on board that is not even rested, so next turn it's gonna swing.
There is a card in the deck you want to have always, because I saw the final, and in the commentate, Skepa and Flash say a lot of time, like at 4 dawn, you don't have the Ivankov, the engine, no? The cards you let you bring 2 character on board. But I didn't saw this importance of that card, because I saw always you find a way, no? For the game without the Ivankov. So what do you think?
It's indeed correct. The Ivankov is like the best card that you can see. If you see it at 4 downs, like your win percentage goes up by a lot, because this card is just insane. And the reason also why I chose to play this deck is that most decks in this meta cannot deal with this on curve. If this sticks on board for 2 turns, it's like 8 downs cheating, basically. So it's just insane. You cheat 8 downs, it gives you like insane value because you can just drop the Karasu for free. Sometimes the combo that I like a lot is I go Ivankov, effect on curve, I drop this, and then the turn after, if they don't deal with this, or most of the decks they can remove it, they go in a spot where they have to choose what to kill. If the value card or like the one that cheat downs, and sometimes it happens also with this, if you play these 2, then they will be like, do I kill Karasu or do I kill this one? It's really complex to know because it's not easy to deal with this. And yeah, also the combo that I said before. And okay, Ivankov is one of the best cards. It's not mandatory to have it instantly because you have the follow-up of Koala, so it's fine. But it's indeed one of the strongest cards. I think it is the best card in the deck. Is the reason why this deck exists. It gives you the combo, let's say the combo power. Then we have Lindbergh. We talked about this already, but okay. Also a stable card. It's usually what you want to drop as early as possible. With attacks, you can kill a 3k or less, so the Koalas and the Karasus you can use. I'm trying to understand if I want to play Race Max. It's the -3 Gordon for the Revolutionary Army. Because it gives consistency to this card, but it doesn't have counters. So I'm trying to understand if I want to play those. I think they're pretty good. For now, I see Koala to be enough, because usually I just kill 1 guy per game, and that's enough. And then if this sticks on board, almost never, it will kill also a blocker, so that's fine. Then we have my favorite card. I'm missing the 4th. It's gonna come soon. Koala is just insane. Is the reason why this deck became so good. I think it's the best follow-up to the Ivankov, and it solves a lot the issue that this deck used to have, that everybody starves you and you just finish the cards. But with this card, you can just eat your own life and drop a guy. So it does basically the same as Ivankov, but you also draw twice. So it's just insane. And it's also a blocker that gives you more like survivability against a lot of decks, together with the Karasu. this card is just it doesn't make sense. Like if it would have been without draw one at the end of the effect, it would have been still a good card. But with the draw one, I think it's just insane. Then we got another Ivankov. A lot of cards, they have a double character in this deck. Not a lot of fantasy from One Piece. Yeah, this card is just super good when you go first. You always want to see this on curve. It's basically the same as the other Ivankov, but for the odd curve. So it's just a replaces that, and it's a +1. This is really, really, really good against the black decks because it's a +1. So against Lucci, for example, you drop a 5 cost and a 4 cost, and this can also drop the Ivankov from the top deck. So you can go this, drop the Ivankov from the top deck, leader effect, and play another guy. So you play 3 guys for 5 mana, basically. It's like 13 mana play for 5. It's insane. Yeah, I just play 4 because I want max consistency when I go first. And yeah, you can search it.
You don't want to depend from the dice, no?
Yeah, the battle. Yeah, I want a curve for going first. I think some people, they play 3 of this, but to be honest, I always want to see this. When I go first, I want to see it 100% of the times. And even if I draw an extra 1, I can just use a leader effect and discard it no matter what. And also we play the stage, so a lot of cards that might be dead in the later stages of the game, you can just discard for this. This card, I always drop it either first turn. If I go first, it can be also second turn. Otherwise, I never play it. Never. I always discard it with the leader effect later on. If you start with this, you have a lot more consistency in going with your combos. So your perfect curves. This reminds me of Reiju. I used to play Reiju a lot, and I remember when you had to set up the judge, the stage was the best card. And of course, in this deck also, if you go second, you play this on turn 1, and the Belo Betty, for example, you just search for the combo that I said before. So you go Ivankov, Lindbergh, Koala, drop Karasu, and Koala is the win combo, like the Exodia combo, let's say. But this it's a lot of cards, but actually you play all of them 4 copies. You play this, you play the other one. You mulligan for almost you mulligan for the Ivankov and the Lindbergh usually. So yeah, this helps you with consistency. I was thinking about playing the deck without this, but I still need to try it out. They might go away for like Race Max and something else. I think I will play 2 Race Max probably. And a lot of people ask me already why I don't play Dragon. It's just too expensive. I don't think it's a good card for this deck. I think it's a good card, Dragon in general, but it's too slow for this deck. When I reach 8 downs, I just go lethal in this meta. So I don't want to drop an 8 like an 8 cost guy. And when you go first, it's terrible. So I don't like it.
It's only because you are prepared, or because this deck is really good? Give us an answer.
I have a lot of friends testing this at this moment. I don't know why they're following me, but they're actually testing, and some of them, they're like top 20 in the sim. So I think the deck can be good. They're higher than me, actually. So they're testing, and they tell me that the deck is pretty good. It feels good. They win against green purple. So I think also if you check the stats, this deck does well against the green purple, and in general against the meta, because also versus, let's say, Shanks, Lucci, and green purple are gonna be probably the most played decks. So it does pretty well against those. I recommend to train a lot if you want to play this deck, because everybody thinks that this is really easy to play, but it's not.
We have an answer to this, no? Because I saw you published your guide.
Yes. I published my guide just today. It's because I just wanted to prove people wrong. Like, they think this deck is super easy and stupid, but actually it's quite the opposite. And I noticed it myself, so I decided to just write a guide on it. It's on my Metafy.
I will leave the link in the description, obviously.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I think I explained everything. I put all the matchups there that I think will be the most popular, and then I also ask people, like, if I miss some matchups, just tell me, I will add it in the next days. And yeah, I also explained the decklist card by card. Okay, the explanation here was quite specific, but actually on the guide it's even more in depth. So yeah, you can check that out.
Perfect.
And that's it, I think.
You think you will play it in Rome, or you have some other decks you wanna try out until Rome, obviously?
I think the other deck that I really wanted to test is Vegapunk, but right now I think I'm committed with this. I want to play this in Rome 99%, I think. So guys, don't test against it so I can win the tournament.
True.
No, but yeah, I will play it to prove people that it's not like I advertise a deck and then I play something else. I like to advertise what I play, and I really believe myself that this deck is insane.
Yeah. We are similar on this, but obviously I'm bad.
Not true.
Okay, thank you Enrico for your time. Boys, I will leave all the contact of Enrico in the description and the Metafy guide. So I don't know, Enrico, if you wanna say some last words.
Yeah, I just want to thank you as usual for I'm one of the most represented people in this channel at this point. A lot of deck profiles, but yeah, thanks for giving me the possibility to have the deck profile. And
thank you.
If anyone has questions, they can leave a comment under Luigi's video. They can drop a DM in Twitter, like whatever. I will answer everybody in human time, let's say.
Okay, perfect. So guys, that's the video, that's the list. Thank you Enrico again, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.